So once upon a time, I had the express privilege of filming my podcast at a content studio at a brokerage in Nashville, Tennessee, where the lighting and backdrop was provided. Lighting and backdrops were provided. Lighting and backdrops were provided. Yes. And when I walked into this space, first of all, it was really small, so there's that. But we can always work in tight spaces. But what really stood out to me was the professional lighting that was provided, right? Because I got really excited when I heard that. I was like, okay, it's a studio, it's a space for all these brokers to come in and film their content. I'm thinking Ryan Serhant level, like content space. Like, oh, this is what's up. Like, it's gonna save me a lot of stress trying to build a set to film in for aesthetically pleasing videos. And yeah, I walked into the space. I saw the space was small, but like I said, it's okay. We can make do with this. It's no problem at all. It's a blank canvas. I can do whatever. But when I saw the professional lighting that was provided, this was the light. This I don't I want to say that it was even smaller. I want to say that it was even smaller than this, but and the stand too. But this was the professional lighting that was provided in the content studio space. This right here, in all its glory, professional lighting provided. Now, if you're like, I don't see what's the problem. It's a light. It's what we need to light our content, right? Like, what are you getting at? Where are you going with this? This is why you're watching this video today, because this video is for you. Okay? Now, I'm gonna talk a little bit about LED panels. What's the perfect, like, why they exist, and who needs to use them and use them for what. But there's only one ideal LED panel for professional lighting on the market that you need to use for your content to film and light your content, or light your content in. Good grief, words. You see, LED panels, it's a tricky subject, because the ideal LED panel that you would want to use to light your content is going to cost you a lot of money. But there is a budget-friendly LED panel under $300 that you can use to light your content, and I'm gonna tell you about it in today's videos. But I'm gonna tell you right now, plot twist, spoiler alert, this is not it. This is not the one. So let's talk about it. First things first, small LED panels are perfect, ideal, the cream of the crop when you want to run and gun, okay? And it's even more perfect, more ideal when you want to use it as supplemental lighting, as a practical. But they are not meant for your main source of light, aka your key light. Now, what is a key light? Let me tell you, according to Google. A key light is the first and usually most important light that a photographer, cinematographer, lighting cameraman, or other scene composer will use in a lighting setup. The purpose of the key light is to highlight the form and dimension of the subject. So this is what it would look like if I use this little bitty LED panel to light my face and use it as my main source of light versus my professional light that I use in all my videos, at least here in the studio. Now, with literally a few exceptions, LED panels are perfect, like I said, for lighting a bookshelf, making it a hair light, but it's not meant to be your main source of light if you want your content to look professional. That's always the key here. Like, if you didn't care, especially with run and gun situations, you're just trying to make sure that the people can actually see you on camera. This is where one of these would come into play, whatever I want to say. But when you want your content to look professional, and even when you want to go farther than professional, you want it to look creative and cinematic, you definitely would not use an LED panel for that. Actually, you would use an LED panel, but you're talking $1,200, $800, $900. Very expensive cinematographer type stuff where you take the LED panel and you shoot it through 1/8 diffusion, 4/8 diffusion, 1/4 diffusion, different panels, fast frames, and things like that. That's what LED panels are for. In my humble opinion, my professional opinion, I believe the reason why LED panels exist is just because they're easy to carry around and set up than, the monolights. Monolights get heavy, you have to be on heavier stands. LED panels are just easier to set up, handle, and put together, and they're still powerful, and you shoot them through diffusion. With a few exceptions, LED panels under $300 like these ones right here are ideal for supplemental lighting and not your main source of light if you want your content to look professional. Now, there is one LED panel that is under $300 that I would recommend as a key light to make your content look professional or help your content look professional. Yeah, that sounds better. And that is the Neewer ultra thin edge flapjack light. Okay, and I'm going to show you exactly how to set this light up to make your content look professional on a budget. Heavy emphasis on a budget. So this is the Neewer flapjack light set at a 45-degree angle, a little bit above my head, so that it kind of spreads the light over my desk and over me as well. It's set at 5200 Kelvin, so daylight temperature, but this light is also bicolor, so you could make it a little bit warmer, kind of like how this splash of light that I have here in the background is set at 2700 Kelvin. Just, give yourself a little depth, but it's quite simple. It's quite easy, just pay the $300 for the light, set it at a 4500-degree angle, set it at a 45-degree angle, place it a little bit above your head, and you're good to go. But it is never that simple when you want your content to at least look professional. We're not talking cinematic or anything like that. We're just talking professional, and the way to do that is to consider your backdrop, your background. Okay, something that I learned over time, not the hard way, but just over time as I kept working at this and practicing and getting better and investing more money into it, is that the background as well as the lighting plays a huge role in what your content will look like, and also whether it will look professional or look amateur. Okay, so you can shoot all your videos in 24 frames per second, double the frame rate, shoot in S-Log3, so you have the most most dynamic range in post when you want to add Rec 709 and then a creative LUT that you bought from your favorite creator, and playing with the exposure and the contrast and things like that. You can do all that stuff. You can buy the best lens with shallow depth of field, and also you can buy a light like this one, set it at 45-degree angles above your head, daylight temperature balance, and also too learn how to expose correctly your shot so that your picture or your frame or your footage, whatever term I want to use right now, looks crispy clean, right? But if your background looks like trash when you are sitting with your back against a white wall, like right up against a white wall, it's going to look like trash. No matter what light you get, what camera you buy, what lens you have, and all the information and the knowledge that you hold dear and near and true and that you've practiced for years and years, if your background looks like trash, your video is going to look like trash. And I'm saying this from personal experience. Even when I was shooting B-roll for this video, I was like, oh man, maybe I should just film this light with a top-down shot and just a black background. It's going to look freaking epic and amazing. Yeah, sometimes that works depending on the light, and sometimes it doesn't. It looked terrible. It looked flat. It looked like it was lacking something. And so I threw it in front of this background that I created myself. Now, granted, this is not even the backdrop that I want, but I'm working with what I got. I share the space with somebody else, and so therefore I just can't, put what I probably could later on, but right now we're not worried about that because it's going to cost more money, and Lord knows I spent a lot of money the last couple years, so let's just work with what we got. But ideally, I want very aesthetically pleasing and just dope, epic looking backdrops for my videos. Because, being able to shoot in 24 frames and double the frame rate and add a creative LUT and do all of these things is essential. But man, when my set looks like trash, it doesn't matter. My video is going to look like trash. So I want you to understand that. I want to put emphasis on that because at the end of the day, you can spend all the money you have on these lights and on these cameras and on this audio equipment. But if your environment looks like trash, your video is going to look like trash. So remember that as you go out and you buy this light and you do what I tell you to do, set it at a 45-degree angle. Because it's a great light, especially in small spaces. It gets the job done, it saves you money, and it saves you space. But if you're shooting in front of a white wall, like back against the white wall, and you don't even have the audacity to put a picture up, baby, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? So that's my rant. Back to your regular scheduled program. As you can see, these small little LED panel lights are not professional lighting, okay? They're not gonna get the job done all by their little lonesome. So let's just keep these little bad boys on bookshelves to create depth in our shot, and this little bit bigger bad boy as a hair light. And if you're trying to save money, you're just starting out, invest in the newer flapjack light. If you're trying to save space and also save money, live better, Walmart. I will leave a link in the description to the newer light, and if you found this video helpful, please like it and share it with a friend because sharing is caring, and I will catch you in the next video.